Hi everybody, this is Bug S Reviews, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the brand new Neca Ultimate TMNT The Last Ronin Raphael figure. So before we take a look at Raph, let's take a look at all of the accessories that he comes with. So first up, he comes with a set of relaxed hands. Up next, he comes with a set of fisted hands. Up next, he comes with these wider accessory holding hands. Up next, he comes with a rope dart that can fit in that hand very nicely. He also has storage for this weapon on the left leg here on this thigh. These hands are also meant to hold the size like this, but this plastic is so thin and brittle that if you forced it, these would definitely snap off. So I don't want a chance doing that. Even getting him to hold it like that wouldn't work, just because of how big his fingers are and how small these are. You could probably boil it, but with this type of plastic, I don't even know if that would work. It's a very thin and brittle plastic, so yeah, definitely be careful with that. And personally, I would not put any of the size in these hands. Up next, he comes with the tighter accessory holding hands and his size, and these size have some very nice sculpt work to them. The wrappings to the handle, that's sculpted very nicely. It has a nice wash over it, but as you can see, this side is warped so bad. It's angled very bad, and it was like this out of the package. I definitely need to boil this and see if I can straighten it out, but like I said, with the type of plastic this is, I'm not sure if that'll even work. So that's very unfortunate. He has storage for these size on the back of his shell right here, the cover over top of his shell, and they fit in there very snug. They don't feel like they're going anywhere. That's very awesome that you can do that, though it is a bit tricky to get this one in here because of how angled it is. Up next, he comes with this arrow, and this is sculpted very nicely. Has a very nice black wash over the whole thing. I could have swore this was supposed to be put in the back of his shell here. I'm pretty sure the promo pictures had it sticking out of his shell. And not just the first fall one either. I'm pretty sure the regular promo pictures had that as well. You might be able to slide it down underneath the shell right here, but you might lose it inside the figure if you do that. So you'll have to be careful. That actually does work. But yeah, it definitely won't stay there if you move it around very much. Up next, he comes with this gritting teeth head sculpt, and I love the way this looks. The sculpt on this is spectacular. I just love the way it looks. The little black lines painted on look really nice. The black outline to the bandana there looks really good. He actually has a swivel back here, so you can move that around. That looks very nice. And finally, he comes with my favorite head sculpt to leave on the figure, this screaming head sculpt. And man, this looks very nice. It has all of the nice paintwork of the previous head sculpt, but I love the emotion that's showing on this one. That screaming head sculpt just looks fantastic. The sculpt on this looks very nice. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the figure. Neca did a very good job over this whole figure. I just really love this design. I like how he has this sort of tactical vest over top of his shell. That looks very nice. The scratches are painted and sculpted very nicely, and you get a very nice black wash over top of this. That looks amazing. You get the black lines painted on and then the black wash that brings all those details out very nicely. He has some really nicely sculpted wrappings here on his forearms and hands. Just like with the rest of the figure, it has a very nice black wash that brings the details out very nicely. I do feel like it's a little bit heavy up here on his forearm and not quite as heavy down here on his hand, but it still looks fantastic. That looks very nice. Here is the back of the figure. You get some really nice sculpt detail on the back of his shell. You can see all of the dents and scratches from all the battles he's went through. You can see a piece of the top right here missing. That looks really good. And of course you have that continued black wash back here that looks fantastic. The knee pads do bother me a bit. At least this one, unlike Leo, actually has sculpted knees, but they are very loose. They want to shift up and down and side to side every time I'm posing the figure around. I do wish they would have been glued to his knees, because you can see the knee is right there, but it's not glued down. So yeah, I might actually glue that down just so that stops moving around so much. And he has some more great sculpt detail to the wrappings down here on his feet. That looks very nice. I think the base coat is done in this light brown that's showing a little bit right here, and it has that black wash over top of it, and then you even get his toenails painted on, and they're outlined in black. So yeah, the paintwork on this figure is phenomenal. It really stands out when compared to Karai that I feel could have had more paint detail. Not only does he look good, he's sculpted great, but he has some really good paint on him too. So yeah, this figure looks fantastic. I do have one more issue with it, and it's during the articulation part. So let's go ahead and go over that now. So he has a ball-jointed head that can look up all the way. He can look down all the way. He can move his head side to side very nicely. He has shoulders that can only move out that far. The shoulders are hindered pretty good. He has swivel at the bicep, double jointed elbows that can actually bend in all the way despite these elbow pads. Some turtle figures' articulation is really hindered right here because of that, but not this one. He has a swivel at the wrist that can move side to side and up and down very nicely. He does have a ball jointed diaphragm. It can move side to side very slightly and up and down just a little bit. Because of the way it's sculpted, it is kind of hindered. Let's go ahead and take this out for this part. He has hips that can do a complete split. I was very surprised with that. He can only kick forward that far though on the left side. He can kick back a nice amount there. On the right side, he can... Oh, well, that's actually what I was going to mention. The legs like to pop off on this whenever you're trying to move it around. But on this side, he can kick forward that far and back, but that is an awful sounding joint. That sounds terrible when you're moving it. He has a very nice thigh swivel on both sides. He has double jointed knees. You can only move them that far. Once you try to move this back part, then this just pops off. And if you look, this actually looks like it's been bored out a little bit. And it was like this straight out of the package. I just went to barely move it, and it fell off. So that is unfortunate. I'm not sure quite why it's like that. I might be able to put a shim up in here and tighten it just a little bit. But yeah, that is my major complaint with this figure, is both knees want to fall off whenever you're posing it around. The good thing is, though, they do pop in once they pop out. It's not like it's broke. They will pop in. If you really want to move this part down here, you'll have to take it off, move it, and then put it back in. And he has a swivel ankle that can move down all the way, up very nicely, and a nice ankle rocker. So now, let's do some size comparisons. So first up, here he is next to the last Ronin, and the last Ronin is much larger than him. He's a lot bigger than I thought he'd be. Here he is next to Karai, and finally here he is next to the 4-pack version of himself. So overall, I would highly recommend picking this up because I think Neca did a fantastic job on this. This is probably my second favorite figure out of this assortment so far. It's definitely leagues better than Karai. She's definitely my least favorite so far. The issues I had with this, like the sigh and the knees popping off, is unfortunate, but I still think it's a very nice figure. I'm hoping that I can fix both issues. I'm hoping I can fix the knees with a shim, and I can boil the sigh, and it'll turn out fine. So yeah, despite those issues, I'd still recommend picking this up because this is a fantastic figure. I haven't had the chance to take any photos of it yet, but I can definitely tell this is a figure that I'm going to have a lot of fun photographing. So that's my review. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.